It's 16 degrees, folks, where I am. But we were at a balmy -3 this morning. So, yeah, it's a cold one. Woo! The truck's not warmed up yet. I'll try and get some heat going. Put my gloves on so I don't freeze my little hands off. Yep. Oh man, what a day. Well, it looks like things are clearing up pretty well though. Mostly just slush and stuff. Hey, you're live too, bud. I hear you. What's up? Wait a minute. How are you live and got me live as well? I don't understand that. Must be something in your settings, huh? How you doing out there in sunny California? Oh, California. I'm sorry. Oh, I guess he ran off. All right. Well, time to go. Time to get this old beast home. Yep. Goodness gracious. Crunch. Ice. Crunchy ice. Yeah, the road looks pretty good. Looks better than it did this morning. Still kind of messy out though. Yep. Ooh. All right, let's go. Oh shit! I want to be in 4-wheel drive. Put it in auto. I don't need the 4-wheel drive. I used the 4-wheel drive on the way to work this morning, simply because of the mess that I had to go through this morning. All the roads were still covered. Well, except for maybe the interstate. The interstate wasn't that bad for the most part, but it was slick, needless to say. That's for sure. Anyway, well, I thought my granddaughter would jump on here. She knew I was getting ready to get off work. Go through some snow there. Still snow on the road in spots, just wherever they didn't scrape. Well, looks like it's wet too, so there might be some icy spots, who knows. Anyway, here we is, headed home. I'm a little bit early today, or earlier than I have been. I really couldn't justify staying at work for another hour with nothing to do, so I decided to go ahead and take off. I don't want to stay if I don't have anything to do. I mean, I have some paperwork and stuff to do, but I can do that in the morning. That'll give me something to do when I check in the morning. That's right. All right, you going to slow down, Mr. Truck? Slow down. There you go. Let me out, because I got the right of way. Yep. Man, it has been cold. You guys see my videos that I posted yesterday? I posted a bunch of videos of me cleaning off the driveway and stuff. I had my old snow thrower out. I'll tell you what, whoever invented that thing, they were a genius. Yep. It's a pretty cool piece of machinery anyway, snow throwers. I just plowed right through that snow like I owned it. That's right. Well, actually, I did because it was on my property. I went right through that snow like it was no big deal. It was kind of tough, though, right at the, like with the end of the driveway where they come through with their plows and they plow, the road, get it out of the middle of the street. And they push all that stuff to the end of your driveway. So, actually, in my driveway, it was only about calf deep. I would say probably 10 inches. But then when I got out to the road, and where they had piled it up, you know, when they scrape them or plow the road, it was all the way up to my knees. So I was having to fight that machine to get it to start, you know, throwing the snow. Somebody stopped in and said, "Hey man, you're using the wrong machine for that, or the wrong kind of equipment." Well, I don't have a tractor, so I can't use a tractor to clear it out. And I hate shovels. God, I hate shovels. When I first started doing electrical work, you know, I did a lot of digging, you know, when I first started doing electrical work, and I got tired of that shit real quick. I guess that's part of the reason I don't do electrical work anymore. But there's two things I hate: shovels and rakes. Either one, I can't stand them. So I did actually go out and start shoveling my sidewalk, and that was too much like work. So I decided, because I'm old. Look, I'm 56 years old, okay? So I'm old and I'm lazy, or at least when it comes to things like that anyway. And I wasn't having it. So I went and got my snow thrower. And you know, the funny thing is that your snow thrower, you know, having to go get your cords, because the cords were like frozen solid. So I had to let them lay inside the house for a few minutes to warm up so that, you know, I could unravel them. And so by the time, you know, you get your cords out, then you go in the house and sit, and then you go get your snow thrower and carry it down the driveway, and you're traipsing through, you know, 10 inches of snow. It makes it really hard. So it's almost as much energy as if I was going to be shoveling the snow myself, you know. And then, you know, having to fight that thing through the pile at the end of the driveway, that was worst. You know, because I've got a little step up, you know, that once you get in my driveway, there's a curb there. You know, and it's just basically so the water can flow down the street, you know, in that little gully or whatever. But, so I kept getting stuck on that. And then I figured, well, if I go across the driveway back and forth, that'll go quicker. So that's what I did. And then, of course, I had to get back on my I had to go redo my sidewalk, because I had the snow thrower. I had it pointed to my left, which was, when I was going up the driveway, it was throwing everything back on my sidewalk. So I had to take my snow thrower back on the sidewalk to get it to clear it out. That was a trip. But anyway, I've got videos posted of that. You guys go check them out. They're pretty cool. They're really short, so if you got a short attention span, you won't mind watching those videos at all. That's for sure. I had my fiance. She was shooting some video with her cell phone first. They're a little bit blurry. I think it was probably because her lens was dirty or something. But and then, you know, I got cameras on the front of the house, so I can keep an eye on my cars. Not that I really need to, but I do. And so I took one of the videos off of there, because it gave you a better understanding, you know, like an angle of how deep the snow actually was once I started shoveling it out and getting it all out of the way. Hello, viewer. Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. Yeah, Jim's video. So go check out my short videos of me cleaning out the snow off my driveway and sidewalk. They're quite entertaining, and I put some pretty good music to them, I think. So if you guys like, you know, metal, heavy metal, rock and roll, whatever you want to classify it as, if you go check those out, I'm sure you'll like the music, at least anyway. I wasn't doing anything special, you know, wouldn't do anything special with the machine or anything like that. I didn't try to make funny videos because I was too content on getting it done. It was cold as hell. It was like 11 degrees yesterday. And I hate bundling up, because when I bundle up, I can't move, you know, like freely, like I like to. So it was quite perturbing, you know, to be out there in boots. God, who taught people how to walk in boots? Because I sure know I ain't good at it. We're supposed to wear boots at work, or at least I did when I first started working this place. I was supposed to wear steel-toe boots. And I had some boots that are insulated, but I had forgotten them at work. But I took my old pair of my electrical boots, the ones that I used to work when I was doing electrical work, and I put those on. And those only come to like right above the top of my ankle. And every time I stepped down in the snow, I could feel the snow go up the bottom of my pants, you know, like right at the top of the shoe or the boot. But man, when you're traipsing and you're not used to walking in boots and you're trying to traipse through 10 inches of snow, oh my God, what a pain in the ass that is. Jeez. My feet were all turning sideways and shit. I was like, whoa, you know, I had to hold on to something just to walk through the yard. Or at least the part of the yard I walked through anyway. Yep. So here we are again, another week, another day complete on the first day of the week. I'm hoping the rest of the week goes kind of the same. It's been kind of slow at work. So I haven't, I had a lot of free time, you know. I just moved cars, or a traffic crew didn't show up today. Nobody from our traffic crew showed up. Traffic's like porters. They transport the cars all over the place. And none of them were there today. And I usually don't have to drive. You know, I usually don't have to clean out my own lane. But today I cleaned out my own lane and had to drive around the parking lot. Well, you know, when they were doing all the snow plowing, they just decided that, you know, like one pass was good enough. And so you know, we drive these Chevy Express vans, and some of them are extended wheelbase, and those things are really hard to fit in tight places, needless to say. So I found myself having to like 3-point turn into like a 20-point turn just to be able to back in a spot. It's pretty crazy if you think about it. Anyway, I can show you guys the road, what the road looks like. It looks better than it did the other day for sure. There we go. Maybe some people will come in and see the road, whatever. I know that's kind of boring and drab to watch the road, but you might like the road better than you like my face. How's that? Yep. On the road again. I can't wait to get on the road again. Hello, viewers. What's happening? So I'm going to have a lot of people come and go today, I'm sure. Yep. So I turned the camera around so you guys can see what's left of the snow. There's not much to it. Now, this road that I'm on this morning was completely covered, except for like one lane. So they've done a really good job today cleaning this lane or this road up. But it was almost impassable this morning. I leave my house like before the sun comes up. And so when I left my house this morning, the road in front of my house and every road to the interstate were completely covered still, because the county that I live in, St. Louis County, you know, we pay all this money for, you know, like for them to scrape the roads and shit, but they don't do it. They don't take care of it the way they should, which I'm kind of disappointed about. You know, what the fuck am I paying taxes for? But anyway, so I leave my house. I ended up having to take a different way this morning because when there's one road that I take that's kind of a short cut through, and at the very end of it where it meets like a main road, it's got a hill that goes downhill. Oh, excuse me. Whew, working man. But anyway, so at the end of that hill, I knew that there might be some ice because, you know, the rest of the roads, of course, they were showing me that, you know, there was like ice and shit on them. So I decided just not to go that way. I went to a different way instead. At least I wouldn't have much of an incline. And I do drive a 4-wheel drive truck, but I didn't want to get stuck on that hill. So I ended up going a different way. Anyway, it was just, you know, an easier way for me to ride, so that I could avoid, you know, having to go downhill and possibly slide down into the road. I did see that they pre-treated that area a little bit. But like I said, St. Louis County sucks as far as their road goes. Once I got to St. Charles County, it was much better for sure. Well, there's a car somebody screwed up over there. A couple of them. I missed them. Sorry, guys. I know you guys like to see car crashes and stuff. Picking up something on my windshield there. Uh-oh. Oh, shit. My windshield wipers ain't working. Oh, there's a piece of ice holding that one over there. Oh, well. Yeah, maybe they'll go back down. I don't know what was on my windshield there that my camera was trying to focus on. Sorry about that. This is the Blanchette Bridge, guys. This is where I'm going from St. Charles County to St. Louis County. This is the county line. This bridge crosses over the Missouri River. I'm going east right now. Oh, people jumped off just as I was on the bridge. They missed like the best part. That bridge is like really cool. I really, really like going across that bridge. The other one that's about half a mile, maybe a mile south of here, you can actually see it when you go across this bridge. You can actually see the other bridge. And like I said, it's maybe a mile down, downriver. It's a really cool bridge. It's more modern than the one I just crossed there. But yep. So here we are. All right, I'm gonna turn this back around so you guys can see talking. Oh, it's me. Look. Anyway, it's time for my shout out. Their Mountain Dew Kickstart, black cherry flavor. This shit's the best. I got away from those energy drinks because they've got some word in there that starts with a Sina something or other. That shit's like, it's terrible for you. It's supposed to be like a B3 or something like that. But that studies have shown that shit's deadly for you. So I don't drink the energy drinks anymore. I drink these Kickstarts because they don't have that stuff. They got caffeine in them. And corn electrolytes. That's what I like, the electrolytes, because it replenishes your electrolytes. It's really good though. It's black cherry. You guys remember that? Maybe I'll get lucky and Mountain Dew will say, "Hey man, why don't you do a commercial for us?" Hey, I'll be glad to. Cheers. So I know it's not good etiquette to drink and eat while I'm doing a live feed, but hey, it's my live feed. I'll do what I want, right? Anyway, well, it's finally getting warm in my truck. My feet are still cold though. I think I'm picking up a little bit of a chest cold or something. Like I said, I was out in the freezing temperatures yesterday, and I've noticed that I've been coughing up a little bit of stuff out of my lungs today. So maybe I've just had something happening and I just kind of kicked it off. Maybe, I don't know. Kickstart by Mountain Dew. All right, there you go. Good shit. Well, I'm glad the roads are clear. I was kind of worried about that, but I figured if once the sun got on the roads and warmed them up a little bit, it wouldn't be so bad. Because when it was snowing the other day, it was like 3 degrees, and I put down like rock salt and shit, on the sidewalk or porch. But when your temperatures are that cold, it doesn't help when you put rock salt down. The rock salt's basically just for traction more than anything else, so. But I did check my camera today out in front of my house. I've got a mobile thing or an app that I can use to check my camera. So I checked the camera on the front yard, and for the most part, my driveway was pretty much clear, and the road that I live on is pretty much clear. So that's a good thing. Man, anybody gonna talk to me or what? You guys y'all come in here and stare at my pretty face and don't even say anything? Where are my trolls at? That's what I want to see. I need a bust on somebody today. Oh, these old trolls come in. They always think they're clever, got something neat to say, but I always cut them off at the pass. I'm like the Lone Ranger, you know, when it comes to that. All right, here we go. Slowing down. All right, here we go. Here's some icy road right here. Look at this shit. This is what it looked like this morning. Yeah, it's still a little icy through here. They don't do the on ramps and off ramps very well for some reason. I don't know what it is. I think they should do them though, really, because you know you are in a curve, and you know you don't want to slide sideways down in the garbage there. Oh, here's an icy patch here. Hasn't had any sun on. That's probably why. But get over in this little lane here. There we go. Yeah. Yep. Looks pretty good from here. This was, like I said, like the interstate this morning. This right here was all covered in ice this morning. The whole thing looked like it did back there just a minute ago. Shit, it's trying to focus on something else again. There we go. Turn my camera back around. Oops, excuse me. That's not good etiquette either, but like I said before, it's my feed. I'll do what I want. Right? Right. Okay. Good enough. There we go. Yeah, it looks like this lane here is the lane they threw all the, if you can see right there, directly ahead of me there. I'm getting ready to drive through some of that mess. The slushy. They were throwing all the snow to the left-hand side here. So that's probably why I have all that snow there. Anyway. Yep. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Lane's really narrow here. Yep. This was all messy this morning. This whole area it's looking better than it did, but I got a feeling it's only 16 degrees right now, so I got a feeling all this shit's going to refreeze overnight probably. Once the sun goes down, it'll start freezing again. And then I'll have to be real careful in the morning. Now this over here, this is the way I came this morning right here. Usually I come in, there's an intersection down the road there, like down there where those cars are. And that's usually where I come on the street off the side road. But like I said, at the end of the drive, or the end of the street, it kind of goes downhill a little bit. So I was afraid that, you know, if that hill looked like it does right here, even though I have a four-wheel drive truck, I wouldn't be able to stop. So I didn't go that way. But it looks like it's still kind of messy down in here. Yeah. Especially over there in the parking lot. You got piles of snow everywhere. And what's funny is that those piles of snow will be there probably until mid-March. No, I don't know. It just really depends on how warm it gets. But those piles of snow usually last pretty good in the parking lots and stuff. So they're like the last things to melt. Just, you know, because there's such an abundance. Listen to me talking like I know what I'm talking about. Oh boy. Yeah. I enjoy doing this though, letting you guys see. I don't know if you want to watch the road or watch me. I guess you'd rather watch the road than watch me. It's more fun. There's a lot more excitement going on outside the car than there is inside the car, right? Yeah, there we go. All right. Well, plows are out. Yeah, this was all real messy down through here this morning too. It's still kind of bad in spots. I guess basically, you know, where the like the shady spots, more or less than anything else, or spots that don't get sun on them. Whew, got hot in here quick, boy. It took me almost a whole trip home for my heat to start working good. Now I'm almost there. It's taken about 20 minutes or so for my heat to really make it warm in my truck. I got a problem with my heater vent. The heater vent doesn't work correctly. So like when I try to switch it from, you know, from my head and chest, like to the heat and the defrost, it makes a really weird noise. And every once in a while I can play with it, you know, just hit the button over and over again, and eventually it starts working right. And but this one does. This old vehicle, this is a 2008 Chevy Trailblazer, and this thing doesn't warm up quite as fast as my 2025 Equinox. All right, come on across there, girl. I'm making a left here. Way to go. All right, see, they got, this was, yeah, this is, they got salt. They're spreading salt out. The shit's terrible for your car. So as soon as it clears up, there's no more snow or ice on the road at all, I'll go to the car wash and have the underbody wash done, so that the little stuff doesn't get up in my, well, it's going to get in the cracks and crevices anyway, but I don't want it to stay there too long. It'll start to eat the fucking metal, you know. It's amazing. You got all these cars and trucks out here, a lot of them, because people don't take care of and wash them as well as they should, you know, when they're out driving around in salt and slag and shit on the road. They have a tendency to rust pretty quick, and that's not really good for your paint or the clear coat or anything else. Yeah. Yeah, see how much snow we had there. My driveway's right here on the left. I pull in here. Yeah, it's still kind of icy in my driveway. I didn't get it all out, but there we go. All right, that's my Traverse there. Well, it's Dee's Traverse, but anyway, that's it. All right, folks. Well, this is going to be the end of another 30-minute video. I appreciate everybody stopping in. If you haven't liked or subscribed, please do. I say this every day that I do videos. I do these Monday, Wednesday, Friday, around the same time of day, a little earlier, sometimes a little later. So, you know, catching me at the right time, you guys got lucky today. I don't make money doing this, so if you guys just want to subscribe, that's fine. If you don't want to subscribe or say anything, that's fine too. But if you guys want to, if you'd like to, or would you please go ahead and just like my video? That'd be awesome. It brings me a little satisfaction knowing that, you know, people enjoy my content. Like I said, I've got some videos on my YouTube, some short videos that I shot yesterday. So if you guys want to go check those out, I'd sure appreciate that as well. But anyway, so I only had one person I know stop in today. It was one of my moderators. And I've had a bunch of people come and go, but nobody stayed long enough to talk. So anyway, you guys have a good afternoon, and we'll talk to you later. All right, pieces.